because I have a just do it kind of thing. There we go. It's over and Celeste. It's over and Celeste. Over and Celeste. Let's go here. Boom. And now Facebook. I should put on my jacket and be like, let me put Celeste's jacket on and be like, so we could have the same color. It's Ilva and Celeste. It's Ilva and Celeste. Ilva and Celeste. And hurt everyone.
Yes. Hola. What's
Hola.
going on?
Hello.
We're here
Aloha.
on a Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes, we made an adjustment this week, but it's okay because it's our show.
And we can do what we want to do. Yes,
I know. My aunt's going to call me, questioning me. She's going to be like, today Tuesday. It's not Thursday.
Hey.
You ever went on, and I missed it. I'm like, Auntie Mia, calm down, okay?
I
It's
put
okay.
a warning. I did.
She
I
did
said,
yesterday. She
Tuesday.
put a warning. Yes.
Hey,
she did.
Tiffany girl.
I know.
So, yeah. So, today we're going to talk about love.
Love, that four-letter word.
Love. We
That-
figured, why not?
Hard four-letter word that some people don't like to hear.
Love.
Some people
Love.
don't like to see.
Love.
Love. One of the hardest words in
Ever.
the English dictionary to comprehend.
Yep. Because all you need is love.
Seriously, like it really is the
Yes.
root of everything. It is the answer to everything. It is the key to every door, everything negative, everything bad.
Yep.
When you put love in front of it, on top of it, it just
Yeah.
cures it all.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, I think we probably talked about love. I was supposed to look that up. Probably in December around Christmas. But
We did? I thought we talked on Christmas about stop playing.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did. We haven't talked. We always talk about love during this time because it's
We did. I feel like
Valentine's
we
Day.
talked about it like I don't know, November. No, we probably
No.
talked about gratitude or something.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's okay.
you can't talk about it enough, really, because it's
Love.
what the world needs more of. What the world needs now
It's love.
is love.
Okay, we don't own the rights to whatever she's singing. Okay. Remember, nowadays we just gotta cover ourselves with everything.
I know, it's the truth. It is the
So
truth, though.
love, 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 love,
Yeah,
love, love.
so yeah,
So,
it's Valentine's week.
Hey,
Actually,
Carmen.
Thursday is
Yay.
Valentine's Day. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
that may be why God prompted us to do it today.
yeah.
So on Thursday we can save that day for
I love one.
our loved ones.
Yes, you know?
exactly.
Yeah. I think it's just the word love, even though it's a small word, it has a big impact, and we take
Mhm.
that like completely like just because you either love something or love one, that you have to allow them to step over you,
Oh,
or
yeah.
the love, oh, I can control you.
Yeah.
Or the love is just too like, oh my
Yeah, I
goodness,
was
like
thinking about
let's put it
that
in a
this
nice pot and
morning.
make it all nicely.
Yeah, that's
Because-
true.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that this morning actually, like, cause yeah, you can love so much and you can give love to so many people to like
Yeah.
some will take advantage
Yeah.
of that and
Yeah.
I remember it was brought to my attention years ago, like I'm a loving person. I know I am. I get it. I'm a giving, caring person. And when they brought to my attention that people run over people like me, I was like, "What? Not me? Like I'm
Mhm.
Ebony Celeste. Do you know my name?"
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's true. If you don't guard the love and I
Mhm.
guess manage how much love you ration out to people,
Yeah.
you can be taken advantage of.
Mhm.
you
And
know?
it's a really strong word when you tell someone you love them, mean it. Because even though it's just like, bless you, kind of like automatically, love you, girl.
Yeah.
That other person can take it like, ooh, and we don't mean it in a bad way. We mean it like an expectation starts rising. So if you love me, then when you love people, say your sibling or your parent, you treat them a certain way with that love. I'm expecting the same, even though we're not blood related. And I'm not talking Ilva. I'm talking about maybe a person in that mental
Yeah.
state. Be like, well, if you love me, then I expect you to treat me a certain way because
Yeah.
it's true. Especially when you come really, you build relationship with others and all that, and you get closer to others than you do with others, which is fine. We all do that and everything. But when you tell each other you love each other, you know, there is a responsibility that comes with that
Yeah.
word. It's not let me drop out of their life or let
Yeah.
me treat him or her this way. You know, love is that. Is a and it's not a responsibility as a bad thing. The way
Yeah.
I look at it is just as to we've gotten to a little bit a different level. Now we just not. Hey, what's up? How you
Yeah.
doing?
It's an action word.
Is an action.
It is.
It is.
Like,
Love is. Yeah, it's a verb. It's an action.
yeah.
It's a word that. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's up?
Right. Right.
Like that.
Um. Yeah. So I was. I mean, moving on to. That was good, Ella, but I kind of lost my train of thought. But okay, yeah. Digressing from that, love is. So I started this series this year too. So like every time I see like little, you know, acts of love, because
Hmm.
love is an action word,
Yeah.
I've been writing it in my journal. Love is this.
Yeah.
So like in my house, if Janet gives me her last piece of her favorite food, I'm like, love
That
is,
love.
someone sharing the last piece of their favorite potato chip with you.
Yes.
So I've been writing that down.
If I do that, that's love because I will share my food.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah,
that.
that's
Whoever
true.
knows me, if I'm like, hey,
Yes. And so just when you was talking about that, it just reminded me of that. Like, some of the things, what do we see? Like if you can go throughout your day, especially, if you don't consider yourself a loving person or people think that you're mean and hateful, you know, just, keep a journal of, what love is to you. Because everybody defines love differently too. Me and Ilva
mm-hmm,
was talking about that, earlier today. Like
mm-hmm,
the way people operate in their house could be different for everyone.
mm-hmm.
So love in my family may be us all in the same room screaming at each other, having a good conversation where
Yeah,
someone walks in like, oh my God, they
that's
hate
us.
each other. Because that happened to me once. I took somebody home with me once
Oh
and
man,
they were like, are
that's
y'all
us.
mad at each other? We're like, no, that's how we
That's
talk.
us. I'm not screaming. I'm
Yeah.
not yelling. It's not the way we
Yeah,
talk.
and then
Yeah.
in your home, it may be everybody's quiet, everybody's talking to each other, everybody's waiting, their turn to talk.
Mm,
That
I
may
don't
be
know what that
love for
is.
you. But then love, somewhere else could be totally different. So
Yeah.
when it comes to this love thing, like, especially if it's something you're struggling with, I feel like, you need to define what love is because it's gonna be different for everyone, and then you seek that love.
Yeah. It's a universal word.
Hmm.
It is because you cannot find anyone that does not want to be loved. You know,
Yeah.
when we look at I watch a lot of documentaries, and when you go back and why so and so acted this way, acted as
Hmm.
though it actually they right on, and we mentioned this before, they go back to their childhood and whether a parent was missing or they wasn't being loved or they weren't treated right or da, 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 it all
Hmm.
falls into that love, because whether you're believe or not, whether whomever you worship or you don't, it doesn't matter. Love is universal. It
Hmm.
goes everywhere.
Yes, it
It's
does.
just like you could go with someone in China, Japan, Australia, wherever it is. Love is it. Because
Yeah.
love, my little saying over here says love is everything because it is. So and if you grab different kind of human beings from the different backgrounds and everything like that, love is all gonna have that same meaning. That is
Yeah.
like that. How we treat. Especially that's where you learn that from your parents, right?
Yeah.
Because that's your
Yeah.
first love,
That's your first. Yeah.
and everything. So that's all you know. And so it's like love is a small big word.
Yeah. It
It's
is.
universal. It is. It's very universal, and it has to be held with caution
Yeah.
because you never know.
Yeah. That
You know
this
you
is true.
you never know. So it's
Hey
like,
Tiffany, Carmen, Latasha. So
oh,
we're talking
Latasha's in.
about love. You can
Love,
share what love is to you. Like we were saying a few
yeah.
minutes ago, love is defined differently for
Mhm.
people. Love is an action word. Acts of love could be different for
Yeah.
me than it is for Ilva.
Right.
You know, some people love for them may be, you know, buying them gifts. If you don't buy me gifts, you don't love me.
Yeah.
Some people, sadly, if
Yeah.
you're not beating on me or if you're not, you know, getting mad at me when I do something, then you don't love me.
Yeah.
You know, being in when I worked in a shelter, like that's how some women define love.
Love,
Like he
yeah.
doesn't love me because he doesn't get upset, you know, or he's not beating me. Why? And I'm like, I have to investigate that. Like he's not, he don't love you because he's not beating you. Because in the last relationship, you know, when it was a violent relationship, that's what he would tell her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm doing this because I love you. You know, I'm going upside your head every day because you just make me so mad, and I don't want you out there because it's dangerous for you. You know, lies.
Yeah.
You're just a
Yeah.
control freak. But for some people, so you know, you don't get it confused. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everybody loves differently, but not everything is love. Some
Right.
of it is the enemy,
It is.
negative,
Yeah, negative.
bad
Yeah.
spirits.
Yeah. And so, you know, it's like taking that good thing and putting it into a negative action, but yet still making it look good. So you have to be able to determine that, you know, and see what is love for you. And it's just something, obviously, love is supposed to be selfless because you just give of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, where there is, and we're not talking about only just spouses, and that's what the pastors were talking about this past Sunday. You know, it's also like, you know, this is a relationship, so there is a love here, you know, and everything. So it comes because what love means to me, and what I, you know, how they say treat others the way you want to be treated, so that love comes in. So it's always that respect. It's always that, you know, because I do love you. And again, it's not, let me step all over you. You're going to be a pushover. Just because I gave my opinion, that means you don't love me. No, none of that. Because then again, that we talked before, you know, then that means love is controlling. But love is just that. It's very, it's selfless in like you do for others. And, you know, I don't even know how to explain it, that loving that treats you well, that, you know, that yeah, there is a healthy conversation, there's a healthy argument, that you're not afraid of speaking your mind, and that argument is like, oh my goodness, no, they don't love me anymore. No, that's in that we're talking about a healthy way. No, it's good because you get to see how they think, how you think, and the love still, you know, my husband always says love just keeps you home. You know, it keeps you home. It brings you back home, whatever you do.
Good.
You know, like when you hang out with your boys or with your girls and you know, the love. Where you gonna go? You're gonna go home because you know that where love is.
Right,
you know,
because you need that. You need girl time. You need, you know, time with your boys. But like it was just said, that's really good.
They
like,
continually change. Yes, Latasha.
I remember in Boomerang, that was the scene that Halle Berry had told Eddie Murphy when he stayed out all night. She was like, "Love should have brought your ass home last night."
That's what my husband said.
You know, like you don't stay out
home
all night. Like you was with another woman. Like you don't love me.
Yeah, and the respect as to, you know, hey, when we did the retreat, I said, hey, babe, I'm here. You know, yeah, it was a point that I know how to put down my phone, but he knew I was at my destination safe. The love and the respect, okay. And then when I was coming, you know, home, he was like, hey, hope you were safe and whatever. I said, yep, we're heading out. And when we stopped there, we stopped to eat. And now that they need that, it's just the point that I know it's like you're driving and and I know how to put down my phone and things like that. And you're right, Tasha. You know, our love languages as we get older and we learn, it does change us. You know,
yeah, they change. I think mine probably changed from year to year, but number one always stays the same. My number one is it acts of service? Acts of service.
Yes.
Like I do a lot in the house, but there are some things like, okay, I'm gonna need you to take out the trash today, or I'm gonna need you, you know, to fix Bud's meal. Like, like do that so I don't have to. And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So that's really good, Latasha. Especially in relationships, romantic relationships, marriages. You should know those love languages because it'll keep you from arguing a lot too. Like. Your partner all upset, your significant other, whoever, and you wondering why. Why? Because you haven't spent any quality time. But if you don't know that's number one for their love language, quality time. Yeah. You're gonna miss it every time. Yeah. So that's really good.
For me, that one goes on both of with my spouse and my friends. That's my love language. The quality time. And like you said, acts of service, yes, because I came in a test that and my husband does a lot. So that he learned that that was one of my love languages from him. I'm not expecting, but when it comes with him and friends, the spending the time, the quality time, and I'm not talking about 24/7 because obviously we have life and stuff like that. But like my husband is like, oh, let's do this and that. On me, it's like that's oh great. I don't need anything. Believe it or not, I don't need a bag. I don't need earrings. I don't need this. I don't need that. Just the fact that you're here with me,
Yeah.
and when you take the time out, hey, Ilva, let's go grab coffee as friends. Shoot, heck yeah, if I can, we will because, I had learned that, and I didn't learn that from my mom. It just, life taught me that time is valuable. So
Yeah.
for me, that's my love language as well when you spend the time with me. So I appreciate that. Again, I don't mean 24/7. Even if it's once a month, you're like, hey, Ilva, what's up? You're like, ooh, this is, yes, girl. She love me. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Because, like Pastor Chad always says, I love me some Ilva.
Yeah.
So you have to
Important.
be respectful of that as well. So,
Yeah.
hmm
So if you don't know what we're talking about, love language, you can Google
yeah.
love language test, and you and your spouse can take the love language test, and it'll tell you it's like 5 different love languages. And there's also a book, a
hmm
journal. It's like he has a whole
Yeah. So, yeah.
plateau of things, but you can take the love language test online just to see where you are. So I wanted
Exactly.
to read something. Well, first I'm gonna read the
Definition of love.
the definition of love,
hmm
and it's like 2 or 3 definitions. But one is an intense feeling of deep affection.
hmm
Babies. The example they have here is babies feel parents with feelings of love.
Yeah.
And then one is a great interest and pleasure in something. His love for football. And
hmm
then the other those two are nouns, and then the other as a verb is feel a deep romantic or sexual attachment to someone. Do
Right.
you love me? So as a verb, that's what we're talking about.
hmm
The action. Like, yeah, you can love something, in the noun form, but in a verb, like that's what we was talking
hmm
about earlier. The action, like, okay, like you
Hi,
love
Carla.
me, but how are you showing me that you love me? Like, yeah, I'm not feeling love, and if a person's not feeling love, then from something or someone, then it's probably not enough action going
No,
around that.
yeah, yeah.
Is what
Because
I'm
they do
saying.
say actions do speak louder than
Oh
words,
yeah.
And if you can tell me, oh, I love you, but for me, right, my love language again, I said is, the quality time. If you are not spending quality time with me and stuff like that, then I'm just completely reading you right there and then. It's like, oh, okay, you really don't love me as I think, you know,
Yeah.
because for me, because that's my love language, that's how I'm gonna show you
Mm-hmm.
my that I love you,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
spending time and everything like that. Like
Yeah.
we have this coffee and conversation coming up and all that stuff. For me, I enjoy that, so that's my love language to them. I'm here, because
Yeah.
they're feeding into that to me. And I love doing that kind of things. And not everybody's like that. Again, that's like Kami says, there's 5 of them. And that's
Yeah.
fine. A lot of them love buy gifts and stuff. And even though gifts, everybody loves to do that. But they are just a kind of different kind of level. That if I prefer for you to spend time with me and give me a gift, oh no, I prefer the time. The gift you can keep. That's Ilva,
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
you, it all depends on how you are. And that's fine. We're not, but that's just love. Love, love, love. Small, big word.
Right. And then of course, I mean, you can't talk about love without talking about First Corinthians
Right.
13. Love is patient, love is kind.
Mm-hmm.
It does not envy, it does not boast, it is
No.
not proud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is a whole lot. Like, to
A
dissect
lot.
this, that's a whole sermon. But I
Mm-hmm.
love that it says love is patient and love is kind.
Mm-hmm.
So those
Yeah.
lies about, oh, I'm doing this because I love you.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just have a problem with that.
That,
When someone
exactly.
tells you, "Oh, I'm doing it," especially if it's a negative thing that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because love is patient.
It is.
No, you're not going upside my head because you didn't know where I were when you called me and I didn't answer.
Right.
Like, love is patient. You should have been
Yeah.
patient enough to think, oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe I'm in an accident. Not that I'm cheating on you.
Right. 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 Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Wait
Right.
until you talk to me. Ask me, why I didn't answer,
Yeah. Yeah. And
before you start making
no, and that's
assumptions.
true. And like does not boast when you do something nice for someone because you love them, and then automatically you start bragging about things, then you know what? Then you're doing that for yourself, not for the other person because you love them.
Yeah.
And and it just really, like, that's why I keep saying, it's a small word and a small big word. And
Yeah.
kind, you do. Again, kind does not mean that you're gonna let them walk all over you.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we mean. You have a right to speak up, to say whatever it is. But kind is just not talking negative and you're dumb and you're stupid and you're
Yeah.
oh, I'm calling you stupid because you know that I love you, and so you could be all smart.
Yeah.
No, you don't do that, like that.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like, I don't know, and I've read this a million times, but I feel like God probably was speaking to, when he said love is patient, I think he was telling us, patient, like with people that we're around with, all the time. Like Ilva said, we're in a relationship. So, like, yeah, love is patient. Because y'all spend so much time together, there's going to be times where you feel like, ugh, I just want to her instead of, love her. And then I feel like love is kind. That's the love for, like, strangers, I don't know that person behind me, but I'm going to pay for their Starbucks, or I'm going to pay for their meal, I'm going to pay for whatever, kind things. Like, yes, this guy, he's on this corner every day. He looks healthy enough to get a job, but you know what? He's on this corner. I'm going to give him $1 today.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him what's ever in my pocket.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's what the kind for strangers, patience for
those close to you. Yeah,
that's what I'm getting.
And love should is not only for those that like you say, it's also for as we live. I don't need to know someone, and you have that, and obviously it's a different kind of love, as the pastor was talking about, this weekend. But the fact that, you, like, right, what are we talking about? If an animal is hurting, you don't need to be like, oh, that's my pet, let me love on them. You're like, oh my goodness, let me find a way, whatever. A child. A while ago I was at the water park, and this little girl was kept going and in and out because she was super short. Her mom was nowhere to be found. I had to grab that little girl.
Wow.
I didn't say, oh, she's not my kid, let me not worried about her. No, because the love is like that comes automatically in me. It's like, whoa, I helped this little girl. She looked at me. She's like, thank you. It's like 3 times. I didn't notice her before. It was as I was getting out. And everything. And her mom was like, oh my goodness. So you see, you don't have to. That love has to come. It just like you respect others because that's just who you are. It's in you. You don't wait for them to love you back. We're talking about as a general kind of thing, like with others or anything like that. The fact that you do for others, it just that kind of love, because if we did that for each other, then the world will be a little bit better. It's not about boasting, like, oh, it's about me, and me, myself, and I, and then comes the other one. Selfless is that the love have you putting sometimes others before you.
That is very true.
You have to,
but not all the time.
No, not all the time. We're not talking about that either. Yeah. Don't get it the wrong twisted or wrong. That, oh my God, no, we're talking about that.
Yeah, you know when it's time. Like, when it's time to start loving yourself, because you'll start feeling neglected. Like, and then that's where self-care.
Well, if you don't love, what, we're always that self-care. You gotta love yourself always first. Why? Because if you don't love yourself first, then you don't have that love for others. You don't know what to do for others. How do you love yourself? You feed yourself, you clothe yourself. You're like, ooh, let me go rest, let me do this. But and if you don't do that for yourself, then how you gonna know what to do for others? How to treat others?
True.
So
that's true.
But
that's what I wanted to end with too. Like, first of all, before you can pass out love to anyone, you're going to have to love yourself.
Right.
For me, it's God. Like, I love God so much, and the love that he has for me, I have no choice but to love myself. Like, I'm going to love myself because I love him. I love the love in him. I love the love that he gave me. So, therefore, I love me. I love me too. Y'all just don't know how much I love me. Like,
I love me some too.
I feel like I'm all that and a bag of chips, and y'all know chips are really good. But
yes, they are.
But I love me too, and so like, yes, I give love because there's just so much to give. Like, believe it or not, you can love. Like, there's enough love in you to love everyone around you. Like, I never feel like I'm running out of love. And when I do, I go to my source and get more. Lately, I've been opening up
and
the
you
Bible
don't.
a lot.
I mean, it's enough to give around. It's kind of like, you know, when you're the first time mom and then you're a second time mom, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know how to love. It just happens, you know. It's
Yeah.
like it doesn't, you know, when you have, then that means that if I love my spouse, I don't have enough love for my children or enough love for my friends. No, there is a different kind of love, but there is enough love for all that,
Yeah.
you know. And it has to be, starts with you, because like yesterday someone came and told me, you know, that because, you know, I look onto God to witness, because we were just having a conversation, you know, I'm able to witness to you per their behavior because you look, you know. So it's kind of like with the love, like you were talking about that, how much, you know, your father loves you and everything. That's a come, it's easy for you to go ahead and love because you already know where it comes from. And it's like, ooh, and it's just, you know, the circle of life.
Yeah.
There you go, you know. So just love, love, love makes everything better.
Yeah. So love someone today. If it's someone
Love,
you haven't
yeah.
told you loved in a while, or they would never expect that call from you, call them today. Call them this week. Call them on Valentine's Day just to say, I love you, and see how it makes you feel. Like, I feel like the more love we give, I don't know, the better, the less stressed we are, or the better we feel. I know for me it is. Like, I love loving people, especially um, people I don't know and strangers. I remember one time, and I had to tell my family, like, you know what, I feel like I'm such charity for you all that I don't have anything in me to give people I don't know. Like, I love helping my family. I love giving, to my family, but it was like one point in my life, this was years ago, I just felt like it was always family, family, family. And then I'm like, you know what, it's time for me to do something for, someone that wouldn't expect it, or
Yeah.
someone I don't know. Because I like to do that too. I like to just, give to an organization or a charity I know, you know,
Right. I mean, it's easy
nothing
to love
about.
those that love you and that you know, but now that's what truly love is tested, you know, when you do unto others, you know, that you
Yeah.
don't know, whether you go ahead and help at, you know, to, especially in the holidays, this
Oh,
happens, you know,
yeah.
like for Thanksgiving, you go to a homeless shelter and you feed them and all
Yeah.
that, you know. And that's when we do the Feed the 5,000. That's one of my favorite things that we had. Like,
Mhm.
we have a compassion ministry because that's the way, you don't have to know them to go ahead and be like, hey,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yes.
So
Thanks,
LOVE.
Latasha, for listening to us today
Thank you
and
and
commenting.
participating.
Hi, Corolla.
So
So yeah, that's
Thank
it. Happy Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Valentine's
Happy
Day.
Love Day, Love Week, Lovers Day, Sweetheart Day. I think that's a separate day, Sweetheart Day, but
Oh.
I think it is. I'm gonna look it up. But y'all
Yeah.
have a good one, and
Thank
we
you.
will see you all next week.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.